Okay, our mission, our destination in this video presentation is to find the lowest common multiple between a couple of expressions. Now, we're going to be working with a wacky way of determining the lowest common multiple, and then we're going to apply the principles over here with a couple of expressions. So, what's the wacky way? Let me just expose it. We're using colors and shapes. And as you can see, we have a pair, or we have a triangle and a square, a circle and a square. And we're looking for the lowest common multiple between these pairs of guys here. So how do we find the lowest common multiple? Well, the first question you ask in step number one is to find what is common. So what's common in both of them is what? A square and a triangle, a square and a circle. So what's common is obviously a square. So the square is common to both. And then we ask a couple of questions. The first question we ask is we pick one side, any side. I'm going to pick this side. And we go, what is missing from here, from the square and the circle, that's present on the other side, the square and the triangle? So what's missing from this side is going to be the what? What's missing that's available here? It's the triangle. So then we put a triangle here. Then we go to the other side and we ask the same question. So what's missing from this side that's present on this side? So what is present that's not here is the circle. So the lowest common multiple between a square and a circle and a square and triangle is circle, square, triangle. So that gives us the lowest common multiple. Let's apply these principles directly into a specific example using variables and numbers in a couple of expressions. So let me just expose this one for you. I have a couple of expressions, kind of long, a couple of quadratics. Okay, so we have x squared minus 5x plus 6 and x squared minus x minus 6. And we're looking for the lowest common multiple between these two expressions. Well, step number one before we ask those questions is we need to factor them so we can break it up into the smallest multiple. So let me go ahead and factor these guys. So I'll factor this first one here. So x times x gives me x squared. Two numbers that multiply to give me positive 6. That's going to be what? That's going to be a 3 and a 2, but I notice there's a negative 5 there, so I'm going to make them both negative, because if they're both negative, negative 3 minus 2 is minus 5, and a negative 3 times a negative 2 gives us a positive 6. So that works. I'll put them in parentheses. Let's factor this side now. So I'm going to use the same cross method. What times what gives me x squared? Well, that will be x times x. Two numbers that multiply to give me negative 6. Well, that's going to be a 3 and a 2. Which one's going to be negative? Well, let's check if they add to negative 1. So if I want negative 1, it would be best to make that negative and that positive. Negative 3 plus 2 gives us negative 1, and then negative 3 times positive 2 gives us negative 6. So that works. Let's put these guys in parentheses. Okay, so if we break these up, this side will be x minus 3 and x plus 2. Okay, on this side, on the other side, what do we have? We have x minus 3 and we have x minus 2. So that's going to be an x minus 2. I'll do that in red. X minus 2. Okay. Let me just write the and here, and in between. Okay, so we're looking for the lowest common multiple between x minus 3, x minus 2, and x minus 3, x plus 2. It's the same kind of process. The first question you ask is what is common between these two expressions over here. So if I look at both of them, what's common between both of them is what? Well, the x minus 3, that's common, so I'll write that down. X minus 3. Because we're looking for the lowest common multiple, that's the first place you go. Next question. We've got two more questions. The first question is, what is missing from this side that's present on this side? We've got x minus 3, x minus 2. What's missing? Well, what's missing that's available over here is the x plus 2. So we can put x plus 2 right over here. Okay, we go to the other side and we ask the same question. So, what's missing from this side that's available on that side? So what's going to be missing is what? X minus 2. So, the lowest common multiple between x minus 3, x minus 2, and x minus 3, x plus 2 is x minus 2, x minus 3, x plus 2. Why? Because you can divide these two guys exactly into this because they're multiples, and these two guys exactly into that. So altogether, the lowest common multiple and there you go.